Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be teaching you one of the easiest way to draft the basic bodice pattern. So if this is what you're interested in, stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share and follow. And don't forget to press the notification button so that each time I post a new video you'll be the first to get notified. So the first measurement I'll start with is the shoulder to shoulder measurement, the bust circumference, waist circumference, hip circumference, shoulder to bust, shoulder to waist and shoulder to hip measurement. So what I did first was that I started by ruling my starting line. After ruling my starting line, I came down by my chest measurement, and my chest measurement is my bust circumference divided by 6 plus 2.5. After taking my chest measurement, I went down to my underbust. The underbust is optional because it's just a basic bodice pattern, and then after that I went down to my waistline and then to my hip line. I also went ahead on the other side. I measured the same thing. I replicated the measurement on the other side so as to get all my lines straight, and after measuring all that, I took my ruler and I went ahead to rule the lines. So after that, I went ahead to label my vertical measurements from my hip line to my waistline to my underbust and to my bust point and then to my chest line. Then what I did next was that I went ahead to measure my shoulder measurement. I divided my shoulder by 2 and my shoulder measurement is 14 inches. So I went ahead to divide it by 2 and I got 7 inches. Then I went down to my chest line and I marked another 7 inches. Then I went ahead to draw an imaginary line from my chest to my starting point, and after drawing my imaginary line, I went ahead to measure my shoulder slope, which is 1 inch, and then my neck width, which is 3 inches, and my neck depth for the front, which is 3 inches. After that, I went ahead to rule my shoulder slope slant line. After ruling my shoulder slant line, I went ahead to connect my neck depth and my neck width together, as you can see over there. After connecting my neck depth over there, I went straight to the bust point and I measured my nipple to nipple measurement. Okay, so my nipple to nipple measurement is the measurement between one of your nipples to the other part of your nipple. And for mine, I got 8 inches. So for that 8 inches, I measured my bust point, which is 4 inches, and then I went down to my hip line, which is also 4 inches. Then I went ahead to connect both lines together. After connecting both lines together, what I did next was that I went to my waistline and I marked from the mid nipple to nipple point. I marked 0.5 inches on both sides of my nipple to nipple, and then I came down by 1 inch from my bust point and I went ahead to connect the lines from my waistline to that 1 inch below my bust point. After connecting the lines, I went down from my waistline to my hip line. I measured 5 inches. After measuring the 5 inches, I went from my waistline. I connected from my waist to that 5 inches. I measured below my hip point. After measuring, I went ahead to connect both points, as you can see over there, and then we have our front dart. What I did next was that I went ahead to measure my bust point on my chest line over there, divided by 4. My bust point divided by 4, which is 36, gave me my bust point divided by 4 gave me 8.5, and then I measured out on my bust point, and then I went to that imaginary line I marked over there from my starting point to my chest line. I came in by 0.5. I measured. What I did first was that I measured the midpoint. I got the midpoint, and then I came in by 0.5. After coming in by 0.5 from my midpoint, I went ahead to rule a line, as you can see, and I connected it to my bust point over there. Then I went ahead to measure my waistline, my waist circumference divided by 4, and then I replaced my dart measurement over there so as to get the proper measurement. And I went down to my hip line. I divided my hip measurements divided by 4, and my hip was 42 divided by 4 gave me 10.5. So I went ahead to rule that, connect both from the bust chest line to my waistline, and then from my waistline to my hip line, as you can see over there. And then after connecting both points, our front pattern is almost done over here. Take note that the front half length is always longer than the back half length. That's because the front has the breast while the back is flatter. So always make sure to measure your shoulder to waist for the front and shoulder to waist for the back. So after measuring, what I got there was for the front I have 17 inches and for the back I have 16 inches. So there is a difference of 1 inch between the front half length and the back half length. So that's what I was doing over there. I went ahead to my bust point and I came down by 1 inch, and I went ahead to connect my line to the bust point, that as you can see over there. So guys, that's it for the front basic bodice pattern. If you're still watching this video, it means you're definitely enjoying the video. So why don't you go ahead and give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube can refer these videos to other soulmates like you and I. So after completing my front basic pattern, I went ahead to the back, and here is my paper for the back measurement. So what I did first on the paper was that I measured my zipper line, which is 1.5 inches. So after taking my 1.5 inch, what I did next was that I went ahead to roll my line from the top to the bottom. And after rolling my line, I started with my vertical measurements. Take note, my chest line is my bust circumference divided by 6 plus 2.5. And then I went straight to my waistline. We don't have a bust point at the back because there is no breast at the back. And I measured on both sides. After measuring, I went ahead to roll my line. Take note that the front half length and the back half length are not equal. So my front half length was 17 inches while my back half length was 16 inches. So the back half length will be shorter by 1 inch. So after measuring, I went ahead to label my hip line, my waistline, and then my chest line. And after labeling, what I did next was that I went ahead to measure my shoulder measurement again, which is my 14 divided by 2. And after measuring, I went down to the chest line, and I also measured the 7 inches. Take note that you're starting from where you measured your zipper line, not from the beginning of the paper. And I went ahead to roll my imaginary line again over there. And after rolling my imaginary line, what I went ahead to do was measure my 1 inch for my shoulder slope over there, and then I measured my 3 inches for my neck width, and then I went ahead to measure 1 inch for my back neck width. After measuring the back neck width, what I did was connect the line for the neck length and the neck width together, and then I went ahead to connect my shoulder slope. Make sure when you're connecting your neck width, you cross it over to the zipper part over there, as you can see what I did with my pencil. And then what I did was that I went ahead to my chest line and I measured my nipple to nipple measurement on my chest, on my waist, and on my hip. Then I went ahead to connect the points, as you can see, with my ruler. And then after connecting my points, I went ahead to do the same thing I did on the front. Came to the waistline, I measured 0.5 inches on both sides, 0.5 inch on both sides. After measuring my 0.5 inch, I went down by my 5 inches from my waist to my hip line, and then I came down by 1.5 inch from my chest line. Then I connected both my lines. So guys, at this point, if you have any question, feel free to go into the comment section and ask any question. I'll be in the comment section answering each and every one of your questions. And if there is any tutorial you want me to do, just write it down in the comment section. After connecting both my lines, I went ahead to the 7 inches I measured from the chest line, and I divided it by 2, and I marked my midpoint. After marking my midpoint, take note that for the back, you won't go in by the half inches. I measured my bust point, and I went ahead to connect it to the midpoint I measured over there. And then after connecting that, I went ahead to measure my waistline, and after measuring my waistline, I went ahead to replace the dart measurement I had taken on the waistline. And after replacing the dart measurement, I went down on my hip line, and then I marked my hip circumference divided by 4. And after marking, I went ahead to rule the lines, connected my chest to my waistline, and from my waistline to my hip line. So to avoid zipper bulge on your outfit, what I went ahead to do is that I went ahead from that zipper point, I came in by 0.5. Come in from it by 0.5. That's from your waistline. On your waistline, come in by 0.5. And then I went ahead to roll down and connect it to my hip line. And then I went up and I rolled it, connecting it to my chest line over there. As you can see, just do what I am doing over there. If you don't understand, just watch the video repeatedly and you'll understand. Then I went ahead to replace that 0.5 on my waistline. Then I connected it to my chest line and then to my hip line. After connecting that, I went ahead to mark my zipper line, my zipper allowance, which is 1.5. I started from my waistline and measured 1.5. I went up to my chest line and I measured 1.5 as well. Then I went up and I measured 1.5, and then I went down to my hip line. I measured 1.5. Then I went ahead to roll my lines together. The lines will not be straight anymore because you're contouring your back part, so that there will not be any bulge on your zipper when you wear your outfit. So after connecting the points, we were done with the basic bodice pattern. So guys, if you've watched the video up to this point, what are you waiting for? Please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to click the notification button so that each time I upload a new video, you'll be the first to get notified. So after drafting your basic bodice pattern, what you can go ahead to do is to cut the basic bodice pattern. I didn't cut my own basic bodice pattern because I want to make a different outfit out of the basic bodice pattern. Thanks for watching and see you in my next video. Bye.